As Buckley pointed out, and I agree with this statement, well, I don't have an alma mater necessarily that I watch their women's basketball, but Buckley said, this is the first time I've really been excited about a women's game that didn't involve my alma mater. And I would say this is as excited for a women's basketball game as I've ever been. This is kind of appointment TV right here.
And it's a non-championship game,
Yep.
and I'm just kind of fired up for
It's
it.
not even a Final Four game. It's to get to the Final Four. And they knew what they were doing when they set up the bracket. This is going to get a huge. I'll bet you this gets 6.5 to 7 million people.
She just knocked down another 3.
Yep.
I was up 12-4. Yeah, you're right. This is a good one. This is a must-see.
This is a big deal.
Ball game here.
And you got a lot of the components, you know, the Lakers Celtic, and whether anyone wants to admit it or not, there are 100% racial undertones to this. LSU is mostly black, very urban culture, like the pregame stuff with the dancing and the trash talking. Iowa's viewed as the white, wholesome Midwest, and their pregame that everyone's showing is them, you know, acting like 12-year-old girls. You know, there is, you know, this is a real divider for people. So this is, and Iowa is just shooting the lights out right now.
Look at old Mulkey.
Plus, she's
doesn't know what to
such
do.
an unlikable.
She's going to send in a goon for a hard foul pretty quick here.
Gosh, she's going to come out. She's going to go in at the half and come out with a more offensive haircut, even more aggressive in a pantsuit.
Yeah, I have to admit that I watched ESPN. We were just talking about this on Friday. We were talking about is there any behind-the-scenes college basketball content?
Yeah.
You know, because we were talking about those shows like Hard Knocks and all that. And I stumbled upon one on ESPN before the games Saturday. There was a behind-the-scenes of the SEC tournament.
Oh.
Women's.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Was Kim Mulkey as big of a bitch in behind
Less.
the
God,
scenes?
Mulkey's halfway out on the court calling for a timeout while the opponent steals the ball in the backcourt. This is great.
Yeah, she was less of a bitch.
Really?
Yeah, than you. And then Dawn, is it
Dawn
Staley?
Staley, who also I dislike.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to just, see what they say to the kids at halftime. And
Would you secretly like Kim Mulkey if you just like sat down and had a beverage with her? Would I walk away
I want
being
to
like,
say no.
Ran
but
into her in an airport bar.
like, damn it, she's great.
she might be wonderful. Who knows? Let's give her a chance, okay? It is time for Stockwatch. Here's Buck.
It is. We have an all NCAA version of Stockwatch this week, and we will start out with Cinderella.
Get it in. And it's over. This is what dreams are made of. An unlikely run to the Final Four for NC State. Echoes of 1983. And the Cardiac Pack.
So that is NC State advancing past 4-seed Duke to get to the Final Four. They are, of course, an 11 seed. If they were to finish this thing off, buy or sell, they would be the greatest Cinderella in history.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I think. Well, by
seed, for sure.
By seed, for sure. And look, they were...
well, what was Villanova?
I think they were an 8. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think this would be by seed. Not only that, but their coach was going to get fired. They were one heave against Virginia away in the ACC tournament from not even being in this. Remember, they hit that last second 3 to send it to overtime, and they beat Virginia. Otherwise, they're not even in the tournament, and their coach is fired, and now here they are in the Final Four. And by the way, they slayed Filipowski for everybody. I mean, come on.
God, that was great.
By the way, you mentioned that Virginia game. One of the crazy things I read about that game, they needed that heave three-pointer just to force overtime.
Yeah.
The kid who missed the free throw, the back end, he missed both the front and the back end. He was an 87% free throw shooter who hadn't missed both free throws once all season.
Think about that.
Wait, what scenario are you talking about?
It was the ACC tournament. They were playing
game.
Virginia. They were down by 3, and they had to foul Virginia. And an 87% free throw shooter goes to the line.
Gotcha.
And
he gacked them both.
He missed
misses
them both. And then they made the long ass.
And they had 2.5 seconds. They banked in a 3. They force overtime. They win. They go to the championship of the ACC. They get in there, and on it goes.
Yeah, they shouldn't even be here, and now they're in the Final Four. It's freaking nuts.
I love that their coach said, yes, this is a miracle run, but we're not surprised.
Yeah. Believe that.
Well, which one is it,
Yeah,
Coach?
which one is it?
When the guy went to the free throw line, the 87% free throw shooter, you were like, hell, I got to update my resume because my ass is about to get fired.
Wait, what are we buying or selling?
Whether this would be the greatest Cinderella run in history.
Yeah, I think it would be. I mean,
an 11 seed.
Villanova always gets that
Yeah.
Villanova or Georgetown, of course. But Villanova over Georgetown,
Villanova.
I meant to say. But that always gets that in NC State from 83.
Yep.
What were they?
They were also an 8, I believe.
Yeah,
8
so
or 9.
We've
An
never had
11 seed?
we've never had someone as low as an 11.
Well, they also have the most losses of any team in the Final Four ever.
Yeah,
They have
it's
14
just,
losses.
What they're doing is just stupid fun.
And DJ Burns is great.
Yes, they got a big fat butt in there that everyone like keeps making fun of, but they love him, and
He gets buckets, though, man.
but we hate Zach Edey, even though he's a big goon too.
Speaking of Zach Edey, let's go to the other game from Sunday and Zach Edey in his post game.
They thought they knew us, man. They thought they knew what we had in our hearts. I promise you they didn't. We're winners. That's what we do.
By the way,
Oh
can
my-
I admit that's the first time I've ever heard Zach Edey speak?
That was gonna be my first buy or sell. You knew that he even had a voice that worked. I've never heard him.
Boy, he's kind of terrifying, by the way.
They thought they knew us, man. They thought they knew what we had in our hearts. I promise you they didn't. We're winners. That's what we do.
I like the
Yeah,
first.
he kind of looks like he would be way more soft-spoken.
Yeah, no. He's bringing the. He's got
A lot
like
of high T in there.
Yeah, he's doing a whole WWE
And
sort
what
of
is
bit.
this? You lost to a 16 seed last year.
That's why no one believed in him.
So there's our buy or sell. Buy or sell that Zach Edey and the Boilermakers can do the full Virginia and go from 16 to knocking off what I presume will be UConn in the final.
No, I don't think anyone's beating UConn. I think and by the way, UConn actually has another 7-footer who, but like Illinois could not score.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, what's that?
Klingen, Jared Klingen.
Yeah,
is that his name?
Klingen. He's 7'1" and the big awkward white guy. Did you see in the first half when he was in the game? I think Illinois was shooting like 22%. So he can actually throw a body at them. And UConn they're just steamrolling people. So I think it'd be awesome if Purdue did the redemption thing, losing to a 16, and then coming back and winning the whole thing. But boy, no one right now is even sniffing UConn. So no, they will not do this. UConn's going to win the whole damn thing again.
I'm going to take Purdue
Let's do it.
because, I mean,
Yeah, why not?
I keep saying UConn's not going to win it all.
Yeah.
And they just keep
Yeah.
trolling or rolling 30-0.
30-0 run.
Pretty
30.
I didn't know, honestly, that was in an Elite Eight game. I didn't think that was possible.
Dude, so if you didn't see, UConn, Illinois was 23-23.
Yeah, the
With
first
about
half,
a minute and a half or 2 minutes left in the first half.
And then it was 53-23.
the first half was so ugly. Neither side could do a damn thing, and then
Dude.
UConn woke up.
I think Purdue can do it. I don't know. They probably can't. But I'm just going to go ahead and say they
All right,
can.
I love it.
Well, let's go over to the women's tournament. The Oregon State women gave South Carolina quite the battle. They were not able to get over the hump. Here's their head coach, Scott Ruick, after the game.
In our sport, where it seems like controversy is the flavor all the time for some reason, and we all have to have something to whine about, this team just keeps it simple and does everything right. And y'all are probably bored with it. Shame on you, is what I'd say. Everybody needs to get to know this team, everybody needs to watch this team, and everybody needs to be like this team. The world would be better if everyone focused on this instead of a lot of the other things. And so I couldn't be more proud of a group, more happy to be a part of them, and more grateful.
So I
Coaches
do.
are such an eye roll sometimes.
It's interesting here because I do think this Oregon State women's team is worthy of some attention until you do something like that. That's just an attention-getty soundbite, right? Like,
Yeah. Like,
buy or sell, he had you until the shame on you.
Yes, because I think some of his
Yeah.
comments earlier that I saw in his press conference, I really thought he had a lot of good things to say.
We have some more of that too.
Yeah, it's just that one's tough. Yeah,
well, but
you lost
come
me
on,
there.
man. This idea that you're he kind of insinuates that you're the only team that has a bunch of good kids
Like doing
that-
it the right
that
way.
do it the right way. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
What makes you so special?
Yeah, there's plenty, right? Like,
I mean, I get you love your team, but God, man.
and why does LSU do and I hate to defend Kim Mulkey and LSU, but why do they do it the wrong way? Why
Do they do it the
You
wrong
know,
way? You
and-
just don't like
yeah,
their
and
coach.
what is he
but,
talking
like,
about? The controversies, like what
Well, I think that was the
NIL or
NIL
Mulkey
and
or
Mulkey and all
Just
that.
bombastic,
all
juicy
that
storylines.
stuff.
I don't know.
I mean, Caitlin Clark's not. I mean, Caitlin Clark's covered more than anything, and that's not controversial.
And what is Gino out in Connecticut? He's been a pretty class act for the last 20 years. He lost me with that, but he also talked about the future of the Oregon State program, and you know he's an Oregon State guy through and through, and I really liked his post game comments when I saw him. just that one.
Yeah, that one was a little odd.
You missed the mark.
Well, his other comments were about the future at Oregon State.
Yeah.
And that's pretty. We can get it. We could do a segment on that, but
Yeah.
you know they're going to the West Coast Conference.
So the question becomes: is this the beginning of something, or is this kind of?
Well, the fear is they're all going to transfer out of there.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later. But I don't know. Ruick.
Bit much.
And the last one for you, we started to cover this last segment, but here is Texas head coach Vic Schaefer after the 3-point line incident on the Portland courts.
Well, I hate to say this, but
I-
I have a lot of colleagues that would say only in women's basketball. I mean, it's a shame, really, that it even happened. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not the culprit here. You guys are asking me about something that I had no control over. So Vic Schaefer ain't the problem. But anyway, it is what it is. So it's a shame. That's all I can say.
That's Vic Schaefer, brother of Ashley Schaefer BMW.
You feel it deep in my plums.
But so we discussed last segment that the last person holding the bag on this was a contractor. Buy or sell that this only would have happened in a women's game and not in the men's.
No, because it happened with the Dallas Mavericks. It's not the first time it's happened. Unfortunately, you know, there's a connotation there that the NCAA hasn't cared about the NCAA tournament with the women as much as they do the men. And, you know, and I understand all that, but this has nothing to do with that. This was a team that produced the men's courts too, and it was a terrible oversight. Whoever did it, you look like a clown. It's a bad look on the city, even though we had nothing to do with it. But this doesn't have anything to do with that. This isn't about the women's game, and I don't like when you draw that line, because then you do take real things where, like with the weight room and some of the food and stuff,
Which is totally legit.
Which is totally legit, and it
Even not being able to use March Madness,
yes,
which is dumb.
like that minimizes that stuff. By the way, this LSU Iowa game, the first team to play defense wins. By the way, both teams are shooting like 60%.
Yeah, I don't. Why did he say that? I mean, I guess I would have to defer to him. He's in college basketball, and he's saying that he's got a lot
not the
of...
only one. There's a handful of people. Basically, I think the insinuation is there would just be more care and oversight in men's sports than there would be in women's.
And I gotta kind of. He knows way better than I do, and so I think that narrative. I don't think it's made up. I mean, I think that is. You know, it's kind of like when my first thought, as yours probably was, oh my God, only in Portland.
Yeah.
His first thought is only in women's basketball.
Yeah.
So. And of course, there's a reason why we think only in Portland,
Yeah.
even though it had nothing to do with Portland.
And they think, you know.
And they think, yeah. So I don't know. I'll defer to him on that.
Yeah.
So am I buying it?
Yeah, you're buying it then. Only in women's basketball.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. How about that? That was quick.
Yeah, that was
Why
Was
isn't
it?
there?
It's 4:36.
Yeah, well, we want more.
It was
The
quick-ish.
people want more.
That was 4, baby. That's all you get.
That was 4?
That's right. You
One,
had
two, three,
NC State,
four.
Edey, Ruick, and Schaefer. BMW.